I have with me a bottle with some special rocks at the bottom. These rocks are actually calcium carbide, more commonly known as a carbide. Carbide has a very useful feature. When it comes into contact with water, it produces highly flammable gas, acetylene. And yes, in today's episode I'll be building a carbide lamp. My name is Daniel and you are watching DIY Retro channel. Wow. The principle of operation for a carbide lamp is quite simple as it is shown on the illustration. Water from the upper reservoir drips onto a pieces of carbide into the lower part of the lamp. This reaction produces acetylene gas, which is then channeled through a tube to outside, where it can be ignited for an illumination. To build my lamp, I will use an old pressure gauge, a beautiful copper bottle, and a copper wire such as kind of used, for example, in a car's braking system. I start by removing unnecessary elements from the pressure gauge, which will act as a lampshade in a lamp. After removing the unnecessary parts, I attach a metal profile to the outer part of the lampshade's housing, which will serve as a mounting element for secure the shade to the lamp's body. For this I use screw and high temperature resistant silicone. The lampshade is almost ready. As you can see, I previously drilled holes into the top and the bottom parts of the lampshade to allow proper air circulation. I glue the previously polished reflector into the prepared lampshade, which will better focus the lamp flame's light. I also attach the reflector using high temperature silicone. As I mentioned earlier, the main body of the lamp will be made from a copper bottle. To do this, I cut the bottle into two parts. The upper part, which will be the water tank, will have a larger capacity than the lower part, which will hold the carbide. In the upper part, I drill a hole for the screw that will attach the lampshade. As you can see, I'm not mounting the shade permanently. The shade can be easily removed or attached at any time, which will make transporting the lamp easier. Next, I need to make a part that separates the upper and the lower sections of the lamp. I make it from pine wood and drill a hole where the control screw will be inserted to regulate the frequency of water dripping onto the carbide pieces in the lower tank. To prevent the wood from absorbing water, I coat it with a clear varnish. To ensure the control screw matches the lamp's appearance and can also be unscrewed by hand, I will attach a wing nut to the end of the screw, which I'll make from a piece of copper tubing. I cut the piece of tubing lengthwise and then hammer it in flat at the end of the screw. Next, I soldered everything together, cut into the desired shape using an angle grinder and polish it with fine grit sandpaper. I installed the prepared control screw and the wooden bottom into the upper part of the lamp, which is the water tank. First, I carefully check and measure everything, as the acetylene outlet tube will also pass through the wooden bottom to the lampshade. Additionally, I need to drill another hole in a correct spot of the housing for the control screw. Now I need to figure out how to connect the two parts of the lamp in such a way that the lower tank, where acetylene will be produced, remains sealed. Will also ensure that disassembling the lamp doesn't require any tools. In the meantime, I will seal the water tank using silicone and attach a handle made of jute rope to the tank's cap. The easiest solution I came up with, which also fulfills the purpose, is to hook the lower tank onto 3 screws that I have screwed into the upper tank with water. The carbide tank will snap onto the screws by pressing it down and twisting it. For this purpose, I drew 3 holes onto the edges of the lower tank, which will hook onto the screws. Okay, it looks like our carbide lamp is finished. Let's assemble all the parts together and see how it looks. Considering that I only use a cordless drill, screwdriver, an angle grinder, solder and a torch to build the lamp, I find the final result quite satisfying. The lamp impresses my friends and they keep asking what kind of lamp is this and how it works. Finally, the lamp is ready and now I think it's time to officially light it. So, first of all, I put carbide pebbles into the bottom reservoir of the lamp, just a couple of them. Now let's put 2 parts of the lamp together. Okay, we have it. Okay. Now I pour water into the upper reservoir. Okay. Now I unscrew the screw that controls how often water drips onto the carbide pebbles, which translates into an amount of acetylene produced. Okay, I smell acetylene. So let's light it up. Yeah, it's working. It's working. A lot of black smoke, so don't use that kind of lamp in the closed rooms. But it's working. Oh, I almost forgot, of course, the lampshade. A lot of black smoke. It's working. Cool, cool. Okay. Okay, I just closed the water dripping. So now you know how to build a carbide lamp using basic tools and basic materials. At the first, project seemed very easy, but believe me, I spent dozen or so hours building this lamp. But overall, I'm happy and I like this lamp. Remember it because I think I will use it in one of my future projects. But for now, it's all in this video. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. If so, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. My name is Daniel and you've been watching DIY Retro channel.